You ready?
There we go.
We'd like to call the meeting to order, and we're going to resume public session. Can I have a motion to resume public session, please? Ms. Kies, Mr. Long? Any comments or questions? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now we will have the GC Pride Awards.
Turn the mic on. It's okay.
First one up. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It is my honor and privilege to bestow the GC Pride Award to Sam Kubiati Jr., as we call him, right? The GC Pride Award honors professionalism, respect, innovation, and excellence. Sam has supported our district for over 11 years. He started with the district in May 2013 as a summer helper. From there, he was kept on the cleaner and grounds position after the summer ended. In 2016, he was promoted to full-time grounds equipment operator. Sam continuously demonstrates himself as a hard worker, dependable, and a team player. He never hesitates to step up and fill in for his supervisor when needed. Not only does Sam go above and beyond, he is continuously does it with a smile and a positive attitude. His warm personality and approachability make him someone people enjoy working with. I consider Sam to be a friend, a great employee, and a true asset to the Gates-Chili School District. Please join me in congratulating Sam with this award.
Congratulations, Sam. Now we move on to agenda changes.
We have changes to personnel and added the music department trip.
Thank you. And now we will move on to Vice President comments. First, again, we'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting. And we would like to also thank those who attended the high school open house last week. I hear that things were phenomenal. The new format was appreciated and made things a lot more friendly for our families. So we thank our high school staff for that. The elementary open houses are tomorrow and middle school will be next week. So please make sure you get the opportunity to visit your child's school. Also, thank you in advance for supporting our Spartans in athletics. I know they are proud to be able to play for family and friends, so if you get the opportunity to catch a game or two, please do so. This is Hispanic Heritage Month, so we like to acknowledge and celebrate the Hispanic heritage as we go throughout the various buildings of our school and activities that are taking place. Please remember, and this will make Eva smile, to sign up for Parent Square. And if you have any questions, make sure you contact your child's school and they would be able to help you. And again, we'd like to thank our students, our staff, and our admin for a great opening of school. And as the GC School Board, we are extremely proud of you. Now we move on to points of interest. Ms. Kies?
I attended the high school open house last week, and I agree with you. I like the new format. It gives you time to have extra discussions with people you need to have discussions with and move along through ones you don't need to have as much input. I also attended the middle school 6th grade open house, not because I have a student in 6th grade. We were there for another reason, but it looked like it was really well attended. Lots of families, lots of kids attended with families as well. I would like to remind our community that we have the Music Boosters bottle and can drive coming up in October. Is it the 5th? Yeah, October 5th. So put your bags out. People are coming around to collect them. It's important for our kids. It's a great way for them to get some fundraising for their trip.
Thank you. Any other points of interest? All right, we will move on to report of meetings. Mr. Moscato?
There we go. I had a opportunity to attend the Monroe County School Board Association Information Committee meeting last week. The topic was basically school board members' roles and relationship with superintendent. So it was fairly well attended, which was nice. It was also followed by a social hour at the new location for our meetings, which is the Strath Allen. So there will be another social hour in the fall, or spring rather, I should say. So again, encourage people to try to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? So I'll report quickly on our ad hoc committee. We were able to meet and convene and have some exciting things in store for our board this year, and looking forward to setting some goals to make sure that we achieve those things. Any visitor comments? And now we're down to reports. So facilities update, you're up first.
Okay, good evening, everybody, again. My name is William Bennett, Director of Facilities here at Gates Chiley. Facilities update, our first would be our mission statement, working together to provide a clean, safe, secure, and aesthetically pleasing environment to enhance the educational and community experience, exceeding all expectations and in support of the district's mission and values. This is our department in a snapshot. We have administrative assistant, custodian supervisor, clerk of the works, Richard Pound, full-time courier, 5 maintenance workers in different trades that we have. We're fortunate to have every trade covered, and they do a lot of work in-house. 4 full-time grounds people that do an amazing job, 1 seasonal grounds person, 6 head custodians covering every school, 4 custodians that support that, 4 lead cleaners, 31 cleaners, 5 substitutes, and we had 8 summer staff helpers this year. This is the department snapshot, operating budget, just over $2 million, utility budget just over $2 million, and payroll and benefits close to $5 million. Total facilities budget is $9,040,769. We are fortunate this year to welcome Sam Bell to the district, head of security team. We will be transferring part of our budget over to the security department because we supported that previously, and we're working with Sam to make that happen. And we look forward to that. Maintenance and grounds, maintaining over 820,000 square feet of building space and approximately 230 acres of land. That includes 21 athletic fields, including 3 baseball fields, 3 softball fields, Spartan Stadium, 12 tennis courts, 8-lane track, and field complex. These areas serve over 3,900 students and 750 staff members and are open to the community for use during the week and on weekends. Staff is responsible for all maintenance, repairs, preventive maintenance for both inside and outside of the school buildings. Congratulations, Tom Scopa, who is in our audience today. 25 years with the district. He is retiring, and we will definitely miss him. He's been part of the grounds department for the whole time, and he's definitely a lot of people, if you've been part of this district, have probably seen his work or seen him out and about or passed him by, and he took a lot of pride in what he was doing here. So congratulations again, Tom. Our custodial staff, head custodians, and cleaners maintain more than 820,000 square feet. They are responsible for cleaning both interior and exterior of the building itself, including disinfecting toilets, sinks, faucets, desks, and high touch point areas, sweeping, mopping, refreshing floors, emptying trash, checking and refilling sanitary receptacles. Community events, setups, and cleanups are a big part of that, especially in the high school for setting up events. Dusting, checking and refilling dispensers, cleaning mirrors and glasses, and vacuuming carpets, spot cleaning, et cetera. A lot of the custodial staff work hard over the summer when classes are out to go through every single classroom, redo the floors, clean it from top to bottom, and also special projects as well. So snapshot of that in square footage. On average, we're close to just over 20,000 square feet per cleaner, the way it works out. So we have, each building, high school being the most of them, with the 2 custodians and cleaners, they cover 25,000 just about square feet per cleaner. So it's a lot of space, a lot of area to clean. It's a big challenge, but they do a great job. There was a lot of staff movement this year so far. Huge thank you to the HR department for their help in coordination of refilling those positions. We have a bunch of new members of our team listed here, mostly cleaners and 1 custodian at the middle school. So we welcome them, and thanks again for all that help through HR. Some of the summer projects we did this year, one was the high school gym floor. And if you've been in the high school gym, you know that's a large floor. Normally, we contracted that out. Our vendor that we use every year ended up not doing it anymore, and it took us by surprise. We budgeted for that, and once we got other prices in, we were floored. So we worked together as a team. We got our head custodians together and worked as a team, scheduled it be done, and we did it all in-house, saving the district a lot of money. We basically spent just over $5,000 on materials and completed it in a week. The highest quote, I think, was $61,000 to do that floor. So it was a big gain. That they were very proud of those guys for all their hard work, and my custodial supervisor for heading that up and organizing that. So another project we did in the summer and throughout the year is cleaning up some of our spots that people don't normally see. It's catch-alls in all the closets, janitorial closets, and supply rooms. As you can see before and after, and pictures don't show everything, but it gives you a snapshot that, that we had a lot of stuff in there that years of supplies and stuff that we've cleaned up, and we've cleaned up the ordering process and everything. So it definitely does look better, and we're not done. So we're going to continue doing that. Another project we did this summer is we relined the Paul Road School. We had a few safety concerns. We were going to reseal it anyway and stripe it. So we took advantage of that and working with SEI to redesign the striping. Got that layout done, and the traffic flow is better there, and we're very happy that that's working out. And there's some of the pictures from that. I couldn't get an aerial shot. I don't have a drone, but maybe next year Google Maps will come up and we'll be able to see that one better. Do we have any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Next, we have our report from our student ex officio, Lucas Gable.
Good evening. Opening day at the high school went smoothly, and this year, our opening day presentations, including the Code of Conduct presentation, were delivered digitally through a recording that the entire building could watch just from their classrooms. And this saved a lot of time that allowed for more instruction, and students no longer had to go all the way to the Performing Arts Center to watch this presentation. An open house at the high school went very smoothly, along with the great improvement to the format, and this allowed for parents to connect more with teachers and allow for more time to learn about what their students will be learning and all of that. And our junior achievement economics students are beginning to teach at Brasser today. They've taught, and eventually they'll be teaching basic economics and financial literacy to all of the elementary schools in the district. Some changes to the 2024 to 25 school year in the high school include the social emotional learning lessons. These are short videos with a few responses at the end that all high school students will be watching about once a month, and this simply teaches their students to practice better social behaviors. And this year, our digital pass system, which we piloted last year, is fully rolled out, so there are no more paper passes. This allows students to easily request passes and make appointments with teachers. And in the future, Mr. Hamill and I will be collaborating with other schools in the district to deliver reports on their changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Next up, we have our GC High School Music Department trip.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think everybody has a copy of the forms and of the proposal, yes, and I think we have the little report. Oh, I have the clicker. No. This isn't a baton. I'm not really sure what to do with this.
I'm still used to touch
You good?
screen.
There we go. So we're still coming out of recovery from COVID, obviously. This is really the COVID bubble that's coming up really through that we're starting to see our numbers in band and in chorus. But because we didn't travel for so long, we thought that the last time that we traveled 2 years ago, it was important to give the kids a pretty good trip, and that was to Walt Disney World in Orlando. We didn't want anybody to feel left out on that trip, so our proposal this year is to go back to Florida, but to switch it up a little bit and go to Universal Studios instead. We do have over 200 students in the band and chorus program. Last time we went to Walt Disney World, I think we had 140-ish students. I don't have those exact numbers, but we usually have pretty high participation in these trips. Our biggest trip, I think, was, since I've been here anyway, was 214. That was 5 buses to New York City. But it's usually in the 150 to 200 range, about 180-ish is what we're probably planning on. Our window, now, I should also say that even since the time of this proposal, that we are updating this daily. We have a fantastic band parent, former Booster President Teresa Bala, who is planning our trip, and she is better than any travel agent that we've ever used. And she is constantly monitoring the web and on the phone with airlines and with Universal and trying to get the best prices, get the best deals, get the best flights, and really look out for the students' best interests in trying to make this travel experience happen. So at the time of this proposal, it said our April 3rd through the 8th. We've just narrowed down that our workshop will be on April 7th. So we'll actually be looking at travel from the 5th to the 8th. And the exact dates are yet to be determined, since we're still waiting for the airlines to release all of their airfare for April. We try to plan as early as we can. The families know that it's coming, and they know that this expense is on the horizon, but those exact numbers and those exact dates are sort of still in flux until we get that nailed down. But we will not miss more than 2 days of school. We always try to get nonstop flights, but out of Rochester, if you've ever traveled, it's becoming more and more infrequent to get a nonstop flight out of Rochester. So the trip inclusions will be round-trip airfare, ground travel, 3 nights at at a hotel on Universal property, a 2-day park ticket. We will have beverage cards and food, a card system for breakfast at our hotel. And our workshop will be, it's called Music and the Art of Foley. That workshop was designed by Robert W. Smith, who, if you were at the April band concert, I talked about Robert W. Smith, who is one of the more prolific composers of high school band music, and he just recently passed away. So he was one of the stalwarts of music education, and so we're very happy to be associated in a workshop that he has had something to do with designing. This, of course, aligns with the National Core Standards of the Arts. It's for both instrumental and choral students. It'll be at the same time. Sometimes when we go to Disney, the chorus goes off to a different location than the band, and they do the workshops at the same time, but in different locations. We'll all be together for this one. For those of you that don't know what a Foley artist does, they add sound effects and reinforce the sound to movies in general. This is a short video about the workshop.
Sound design, music in the art of Foley, I look at as an all-encompassing program that hits on every educational area.
We came here today with a piece that we had prepared for a couple weeks over our class.
We recorded the piece itself with all the professional recording equipment, but then we also learned a little bit more about what it takes to put together an animated film.
We also added other elements to it, like the dialogue, we added BOE effects.
And we had an opportunity to see how all that gets put together in post-production.
Students are required to draw upon all of their educational experiences, whether it is math class, whether it is science, whether it's technology, engineering, all of the arts.
My favorite part was the opportunity for the students to, maybe see how choral music is used outside of the whole classroom, to hear all about the other music jobs. I think is real valuable for them.
Biggest thing for me was that exposure to new careers that involve music but aren't necessarily performance-based, and that I might want to research more going into the rest of my life after high school.
We're preparing our students for a lifetime of success.
I think the big takeaway for my students and I is the sense of professionalism that is necessary in this sort of an experience. That's something that maybe they'll carry with them into the classroom, they'll carry with them into college.
Just the experience of having to really perform on that one take as soon as they hit record. I know I can always use that in anything where I'm in a more pressured setting, and just learning to be calm and confident and really just perform.
What I like to do is I like to watch the faces of the students, and you can see light bulbs going off. You can see sparkles in their eye. And I contend that their world has been opened up after finishing this workshop here at Universal Orlando Resort.
I didn't expect it to just last so much, and so just be prepared to really have a lot of fun.
This is an amazing workshop put together here at Universal Orlando Resort that is unlike anything else in the world.
As we're talking about cost, this proposal says it's under $900. If we run all of the numbers that we currently have, the solid numbers, we're at $868. We're using a benchmark of $850, and we usually present to you our worst-case scenario that is never going to be more expensive than this. We've always tried to work hard to keep it under $1,000, and I think the last 5 trips that we've had have been around the $800 range. I think the last one was $750, but because of the bottle and can proceeds and the other fundraisers that the Music Boosters facilitated, we were able to take off the complete last payment. So it's always going to be cheaper than this, and we're always working hard to try and get it down to make sure that as many students and families can participate as possible. But right now, we're saying under $900. I feel like every time I come in before you and ask for this approval that we're kind of in that ballpark, and we certainly don't take that trust for granted that that you bestow in us to always come in under the mark. And I think every time that I've been here in 25 years, we've always been under the proposed cost that we've given you and given the families. So with the breakfast, the food vouchers, the ground transportation, park tickets, airfare that we're using, $400, we're at $860-ish, but we're going to go with $850 as a benchmark. We do have several fundraisers still. Our annual bottle and can drive, which, as Mrs. Kais mentioned, that's going to be on Saturday, October 5th. We have the Dallas Brass concert. And Dallas Brass is a brass ensemble that's coming to perform a concert and a workshop all day with our students on April, I don't know why I keep saying April. October 16th, and our Java Jazz fundraiser on February 7th, which will go to defray the cost for all of the students who go on the trip. And as I said, the final Disney payment was eliminated for students because of all the fundraising last year, or the last time we traveled, I should say. There are also individual fundraisers that the students can sell in items themselves to gain credits on their own. All the fundraising is done through our Music Boosters, a 501c3 organization. Pre and post activities, we'll be rehearsing in preparation for the workshop. We'll be getting ready for that. At Disney, we sight read. We go in and don't really know what's going to be put in front of us. That's a longer workshop where we go from start to finish, from seeing it for the very first time. This time, we'll get a chance to prepare it a little bit ahead of time and then go and work with their workshop musicians. And again, as the video said, we'll be learning about other musical career paths in the film industry, composition, performance, audio engineer, and Foley art. I know that was a whirlwind tour. I try not to waste a lot of your time. I try to be brief and try to be comprehensive. Anything I can answer?
Anyone have any questions?
Great job.
Nope, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you very much for your support of the music department and for these travel opportunities for our students.
Next up, we have the capital project update.
Good evening again, everyone. Good evening. Kurt and I are back for another capital project update on the 2022 project. And then we'll have a special appearance for the 2025 project after this. This past month, the work completed in the district office space. We painted all the walls. About half the space has received the second coat of paint. The ceiling structure has started in all of the classrooms, or I'm sorry, the offices and conference room spaces. The district office bathrooms have started to be tiled, if not are completed. And then moving over to fax, the drywall is installed in both rooms. The soffits are up, finishing has started. Primer has gone on in the south classroom. The PLC bathrooms did finish. They are open down the hall here. There's a couple punch list items that need to be taken care of, but they are functioning bathrooms at this point in time. And then the high school technology, the foundation work is still ongoing in this location. It's about 27, 28 piers that need to be dug, poured in concrete, and then backfilled. So this will be continuing through October. And then the middle school technology, we did finish the demolition. The floor cuts have been done, and the plumbing has started underground. In the meantime, the general contractor started running their walls in the space. For the other trades, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, they've been just working in the spaces that I just described, still running their conduits, running the wiring, starting to install lights in the district office space, really trying to wrap things up in some of these areas that we're starting to prepare to turn over at the end of the year. Looking ahead, in the district office space, they're going to finish the ceiling installations in October, start flooring. A few offices have started carpet as of today. Lighting and security be either completed or nearing completion in the space, and then windows. High school fax, the walls will be finished in the north classroom and then painted, continuing to work on the interior mechanicals. The large air handler for the space should be shipping in the next couple of days, so that should start to be installed next month as well. And then ceiling layout and installation in the space. In the high school technology, like I mentioned before, they're going to continue pouring the foundations for that area and then backfilling. In the middle school, completion of the underground plumbing, wall framing, and then starting drywall in that space, and then mechanical, electrical, plumbing rough-ins. And then the patching of the concrete, as you can see in the photo, there was an extensive amount of cuts that needed to be made in this floor to make the connections for all the plumbing lines in this space. It's a very similar slide as we look at all the time, but this number is slowly ticking up. We're at 32% build for our phase 1 contracts, and Phase 2 dollars for award are about $13.5 million. Inside the district office, this is a ceiling grid that's been installed with the edges of the tile dropped and lighting installed. All of the lighting as of now is functional. This is a bathroom in the district office, the one bathroom that does include a shower for staff. This is the tile up, pre-grout. This is in fax, the north classroom with the soffit where the range hoods will go for the cooking islands for all the students. This is the south fax classroom that is being finished at this point in time. As of now, it is primed, but when this photo was taken, the drywall installers were finishing the drywall. This is more concrete of the high school technology. Very fun photos to look at.
For some of us.
For some. Middle school technology. So on the right-hand side of the photo, this is where the center area was cut out for plumbing lines, and then we can start to see the bottom track of walls being installed. Similar to the district office that we've been looking at the past few months, there is curved wall sections in this area as well. That is what the track is for. And then a couple days later, walls have started to go up in the space. PLC bathrooms, this is the women's room, the 3 stalls, and the sink on the left, and then the men's bathroom.
Phase 2. So as we've been saying the last couple of months, Phase 2 has been at SED for about the last 5-6 months. We have started to receive comments for the 3 phases of review. Just as a reminder, there's architectural review by SED, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing review from SED, and the project manager review from SED. We've got architectural comments. We've been going back and forth with them. We got approval yesterday. We've just received mechanical comments, so we'll start working on those and getting the addendum out to them. And we'll have received project management review comments, and so we'll be reviewing those and getting a response back to SED. So we have gotten comments from all 3, and we'll be responding to those in a timely fashion. We expect to get, hopefully, approval of October, November, end of October, middle to end of October, and working with campus to put a bid schedule together. We are on schedule, which is kind of interesting to say, considering I've been standing here telling you that SED, we have no control over how they review their process. So we're in a good position.
Any questions?
What the hell's going on?
Thank you.
Next one.
Oh, thank God. Oh, they just stood up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, we're excited to share with everybody the next proposed capital project, title being Future Ready, Preserving Our Resources, Maintaining Our Schools.
So just reflecting, our last one was Building Brighter Futures, and this one's talking about being future ready. So our agenda tonight, we'll start with welcome and introductions, go through the history of where we've been, what our process has been in order to get us to where we are today, what the scope discussions have been, as in what's included in the proposed project, some financial information, and then a deeper dive at what's our schedule look like from here on out, and then answer any questions that the board may have. So I'd like to start by introducing SCI Design Group, Campus Construction, and BPD Municipal Finance. SCI Design Group is our current architectural firm, and they're helping in our initial discussions around what this might look like architecturally. And so with us tonight is Kurt Bader from SCI Design Group. Campus Construction, they're our construction managers, and so they help us with our day-to-day planning around the current capital project and the management of the project, and also looking towards the next project. And with us, obviously, is Joe Pilato. You saw him present a few minutes ago. And then BPD, Municipal Finance, they help us think about how we long-term fund the project, giving things like bonding schedules, what is aidable and not aidable, those types of conversations, more on how we finance things. And so with us tonight is Chris DiCarlo, from BPD Municipal Finance. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here and for your collaboration.
And I'm Chris Daly, I'm the superintendent, and this is Dr. Ball, our assistant superintendent,
Thank you.
representing the district.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
So looking kind of like really far out, not getting into the details of what the dates are, this is what it looks like when you design a project. So you start by talking about what will our spaces look like, and through that there's quite a number of processes that we go through that we're going to talk about in a minute. And then we start talking about kind of conceptually what we're going to do, and then from there we do designing and bidding of the project, and eventually construction and occupancy. So you saw this a few minutes ago. This is what's currently happening in the district. Again, it's Building Brighter Futures, and we just heard a little bit about that. We voted on that in February of 2022, February 2nd, 2022. And now we're looking at the next phase in our multi-year phasing of capital work. So we look long range at what are the things that need to be done in the district, and we've been doing a lot of capital planning around that. So this next project that we're proposing continues the great work that's been going on in the district.
So when we're looking at priorities, we have our building condition surveys, and again, making sure that we are being responsible in our financial planning, both short and long term. So working with our partners here and making sure that we're maintaining everything while also thinking about what our needs will be down the road for our students and community. And so we've maintained capital reserves to offset our local share. And again, the goal with this next project is no impact on the tax levy.
So in terms of our planning process, what are the things that we've been doing to get us to where we're at today is we regularly meet with the owner, architect, construction manager team. That's this group. We have a F on there too for finance with Bernie Donegan's office. We do building tours of all of our facilities. And so with this team, we do a deep dive along with the facilities department that's here in district to look at the condition of our buildings. We look at all of those items from our current project that maybe weren't included, that were priorities at the time, but we weren't able to fund those things at that time. We meet with our building leadership, and our building leadership is tasked with collecting information from their building staff, as well as our department leaders, collecting information from their buildings and departments to help inform us about the direction that we should be looking into the future. We look at all of our mechanicals, our AC. We look at those building condition surveys that help inform us. The last building condition survey had about $104 million of work in 2021 when it was done at values of 2021, so acknowledging that costs have gone up in terms of labor and materials. And then from there, we generate a scope list, and then we begin evaluating financial impacts. For instance, we look at what things are still aidable, acknowledging that aid goes in a cycle. Every 5 years it resets in spaces, and so we need to be thinking about that as we plan the project. What are things that we can do that we know will get the most bang for our buck when investing in them and investing long-term and looking at the long-term plan? So, go ahead, Mr. Daly, sorry.
All right. So we divided in looking at how we developed the project into 4 categories: failing infrastructure needs, renovations, replacements, and new work. And as we go through each building, you get to see how that impacts each of the buildings as we develop this project. So at the high school, infrastructure needs that are immediate are boiler work, our HVAC unit replacements, some roofing replacements, as well as, we all know, the clock system to get that replaced and actually work. Renovations is addition of a lactation room. Replacements, we have to replace Spartan Way, the rear parking lot here, and the main parking lot. New work would be additional bleachers for the stadium to finish that project, and then adding fencing around to make the athletic fields secure. And you can see, and I should have pointed out, you can see on the pie chart where they fall in with those 4 categories, with a majority of it being with our infrastructure needs and renovation.
At the middle school, large focus is on infrastructure needs. Boilers, rooftop units, chillers, and antiquated PA system. The PA system is very old. It does not work in all the spaces the way it should, and so we're hoping to be able to update that to a more modern system. Right now, it's a hardwire type system, and to be able to convert it to a digital system. Renovating classrooms with new unit ventilators, and then lactation room. You'll see that consistent across all the buildings. We're trying to accomplish that task. And then replacing the entryway digital sign on Buffalo Road. That sign is very old and in need of upgrading. And so again, the majority of the work is in those first two, and sometimes the replacement category with very little in new work. At the middle school, there would be no new work added.
At Brasser, we'd be working on the generator, replacing HVAC units, the boiler room pumps, and asphalt shingle roof replacement, some renovations, redoing the cafeteria and the bathrooms and the library media center. Obviously, the rear parking lot would need to be replaced, and again, giving them a digital message sign and expanding the kitchen that is not big enough for the population there.
And a point of information is that kitchen expansion is something that's been on the list for capital work for many, many years now. I think the last 3 projects, and so it is something that we are really looking forward to addressing. At Neil Armstrong, the rooftop and air handling units, again, the parking lot and drainage, there are some issues with drainage at that building. Classroom carpet flooring, especially in our open classroom areas. We know that the carpet is as old as those areas. Renovations would be the lactation room, the library media center. You'll see this throughout the presentation as well, looking at the elementary specifically to upgrade the library media centers. Select flooring. In terms of replacements, the parking lot is in need of work, and then again, a digital message sign.
At Paul Road, it'd be replacing the rooftop HVAC units, renovations, again, the library and lactation room, replacements at the bus loop and sidewalks, and new work would be a digital message sign, a sidewalk around the building, and building connections to the crosswalk, and adding an adaptive playground equipment.
At Walt Disney, more of the same rooftop and air handling units, generator, classroom carpeting in the open classrooms at Walt Disney, lactation room, library media center, no replacements, but new digital message sign. None of our elementary schools currently have them, and that would be a good upgrade for helping us with community communications.
At other buildings, we have roofing replacement to the current admin building, stadium and grounds equipment storage as well. Some renovations, we would be moving the Gates Charlie Food Pantry within the building. Operations would move over to the current admin building. We'd be adding or renovating a room to make it a lactation room at transportation. And event restrooms would be at the current admin building. Replacements would include flooring replacement and associated abatement at our current admin building. And finally getting some work out of the superintendent's office and turning it into a concession stand or warming kitchen. And then paving at transportation.
So that's the entirety of what's is in the proposal currently, and what we've been working on in terms of looking at the financing of the project and what we can reasonably afford given a combination of our reserves and our aid ratio. As you can see up there, our building aid ratio is 81%, and so we've been looking at all of these things and how do they play together based on what we're doing now, and when those maximum cost allowances, we call them, when those aid ceilings reset, so then we can do more work and get that aid back on it. So 81 cents, as much as possible on the dollar back from the state. And then from there to utilize the difference in capital reserves, which we do have funding to support this project, looking at our existing level of debt and our bond rating to help us get to a point where we have no impact on the tax levy. So overall, the greatest percentage of work is on infrastructure needs. And so it's really, it was really important for us to share with the Board of Education that this is a no-frills project. It's really a project that's looking to help us maintain the district into the future, maintain the services, programs, and facilities that we currently have as we look towards the future, so to be future ready. In terms of the referendum, we have been doing some surveying of other districts in the region, and there's other districts in the region that are in a similar boat to us that are looking in the $80+ million range for capital work with cost escalation in terms of labor and materials. These projects are coming in at around this value, and so $88 million is the estimated referendum, giving the 4 categories listed above. But again, the important piece is not looking to have an impact on the tax levy. The Board of Education has been doing a really great job of prudently saving in our capital reserve so that we don't have that impact on the tax levy. So from a proposed project schedule, we're in the planning and research. We did the planning and research phase. We got the input. We are at the point where we're looking to have the board authorize a proposition so we can put it out to public vote on February 5th, 2025. And then from there, if the public approves the project, we would begin the design phase, and then eventually get to a point where SED would review it. We would hopefully bid in spring of 2026, and then construction would begin in spring of 2026 and carry through fall of 2030. So we're at the end of 2024 right now. This project would take us all the way out to 2030, assuming public approval. Again, the important date would be Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Save the date for the vote. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Mrs. Kives.
I have 2 questions now, if I can remember them both. Paul Road, there was addition of adaptive equipment for a playground. Are we asking PTO to kick in on that, or is that something that we are covering? 'Cause I know we've covered some equipment for other playgrounds.
This addition would include the district paying
Okay.
for the additional adaptive.
My second question is Florence Brasser. Cafeteria, you said kitchen expansion. Are we also expanding the cafeteria size itself, or just the kitchen?
Did we add in square footage, or I know that we would have to do some demo of that space, so.
Yeah, it's a whole all-encompassing piece.
It's an all-encompassing piece, so when you walk into Florence Brasser, you walk into that corridor that tees off into the classrooms.
I unfortunately can't hear you. My ears are really plugged up, and everyone can tell you I'm deaf tonight.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
When you walk into Florence Brasser and the main entry and you tease off into the classrooms, there's that very congestive corridor right where the gym and the cafeteria lock up. The intent is the design right now is to open that all up. So expand the kitchen out, expand the cafeteria into that kitchen so it becomes more of a serving lane, and also incorporate bathrooms into that wedge. So that becomes more of a usable space than it does just a corridor egress.
I might
Small
share-
cafeteria, is that nice
Yeah.
to know?
And I might
Well-
share one other thing, is that in terms of like the way that the project phasing works is, that's the initial intent. However, if the public approves, then as noted up on the first part of design is we start meeting with constituency groups as we have with prior projects, and we have a discussion about, here's an initial design that the architect has brought forward. What do you think about it? What are some ideas that we have that, or things maybe that do or don't work or that could work better? And then can we design that within the budget that's provided? And again, those things are shared out with the public as well. What are those things that we can do to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the building and the community in that building?
You may not know the top of your head, but is Brasser's cafeteria and kitchen smallest in the district? I feel like it is.
Yes. It's absolutely the smallest.
Any other questions? Nope, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much and have a great evening.
So we will move to consensus items. First, we'll have the approval of the consensus agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Mr. Long and Ms. Kies, comments or questions? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. But next we have approval of the consensus items. Can I have a motion to approve consensus items C through K? Mr. Long, Ms. Kies, comments or questions? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. Ms. Parado?
Good evening, thank you. So the board just approved some retirements that we want to acknowledge. Ken Hamill, our Director of PE and Athletics, has submitted his letter of intent to retire. He's been with the district for 11 years. He has graciously agreed to stay on until the end of this school year, so we will be working on finding his replacement. So we thank him for his years with the district and for his willingness to continue to help us. Also, Lou Luciani, who is a high school English teacher, will be retiring at the end of this school year. At the time of his retirement, he will have been with the district for 31 years, so we thank him for his long service to the district. Terry Ordway, who is an ESL teacher at the high school, will also be retiring at the end of this school year, and she will have 25 years with the district at the time of her retirement. We thank her very much for her years of dedicated service. And finally, last but not least, Josie Argento, who is the secretarial support for our continuing education program. She will be retiring in December, and she has 26 years with the district. So a lot of longevity, and we thank all of them for their years with the district, and we wish them well in retirement.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Parado. Wishing all the retirees well. As we move on to action items, first we have the approval of the GC High School Music Department trip to Orlando, Florida, tentatively April 3rd through the 8th. Can I have a motion to approve the GC High School Music Department trip to Orlando, Florida, tentatively April 3rd through the 8th, 2025? Ms. Davis and Ms. Jennings, comments or questions? Oh, all in favor? Vote is unanimous. And now we're at superintendent's comments.
Well, I'd like to thank our student ex officio, Gates Tri High School student Lucas Gable, on presenting to the board tonight for the first time. We look forward to hearing from you throughout the school year, and you survived and did a great job, so keep that up. We have some important calendar reminders to share tonight with our families. Next Wednesday, October 2nd, is a half day for students K through 12. Students will be released midday, and our faculty and staff will be learning together in the afternoon. The following Friday, October 11th, will be a full day off for students K through 12 as well. The middle school held their 6th grade open house last week. It was a great night with lots of families coming out and taking part in various activities. There was even a Kona ice truck there. 7th and 8th grade families will have their chance next week on October 1st at 6:30 p.m. Meanwhile, elementary families, you're invited to our open house events this week. Attend the events in your school on September 25th and 26th, depending on your student's grade level. Remember that the first half hour of the event, 5:30 to 6, is a parent square demo, followed by the open house from 6 to 7. And speaking of parent square, as of today, approximately 65% of parents and guardians have activated their accounts. Remember, with Parent Square, every parent or guardian in the district has their own account. That means they're all set to receive important updates from the district and their student's school. But by activating their account, they can engage in two-way communication with their student's school, including attendance notes. For high school families, make sure to highlight this upcoming event on the district calendar. The high school is holding its financial aid night on Wednesday, October 9th at 6 p.m. in our high school library mezzanine. Also, all our GC staff members, remember, you can get your flu shot at our staff flu shot clinic on Thursday, October 3rd from 3 to 6 p.m. in the admin building. Those interested in getting their flu shot should call 1-800-869-2496 for an appointment. And finally, yesterday, Dr. Ball, Director of Transportation, Mr. Hembold, and I, along with Mrs. Petrosino, met with Assemblywoman Sarah Clark, to talk about our electric school buses. Assemblymember Clark is part of our statewide commission on the electric school bus initiative and has presented on it in Rochester, and wanted to learn more about our experience with our electric school buses and their addition to our fleet, and how the state legislature can continue to support schools in electrifying their fleets. It was a great open discussion, and she's going to help us navigate this process even further, and it was great to make a connection with another state official as we move towards our electric school bus fleet integration. And finally, last but not least, one of our board members turned 32 tonight. So happy birthday to Dr. Richards on your 32nd birthday. We're very happy that you get to celebrate that after this with your family. And Ms. Jennings brought you cupcakes, and so we hope you have had a great day. You've run a great meeting, and we hope you have a great time afterwards with your family. That is my report, ma'am.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. And at this time, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Ms. Jennings, Mr. Moscato. Comments or questions? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. We are adjourned.